Okay, hello everybody, Crypto Vince here. Good morning. So I'm ready for a new live stream on Bitcoin. Many things to see today. Let me remove this. Actually, let's wait for a few other members to join, since I see everybody is pretty excited today. I would like to start by saying that yesterday I didn't sleep at all because a bounce was expected at some point between between 7.4 and 6.1. Everybody was looking for this little bounce, especially when the 4-hour RSI was turning bullish. There was a nice divergence on that indicator. I will explain also why 6.4 6.1 for me was a good possible bounce. The problem is, and you guys need to understand this because it's very important. I'm pretty sure on this bounce all the market turned bullish. I don't know if the sentiment already switched, but be careful to call a bounce like a bullish market, because you guys probably got excited on this bounce also, the 40%. Everybody screamed, oh, it's over, fuck you, Vince. And pretty much we bounce also here with this nice pair of candles. This was interesting because we were still on a higher high, higher low market structure. So this bounce looked really interesting, but we dumped. Then this bounce also looked interesting, but we dumped. Now, this bounce might look interesting, and we might bounce down again. We might be rejected. So let's not forget that the market structure of the correction is still bearish. So before to call this a real bounce, we need to break some important resistance. For sure, these two levels needs to be break in order to call for a bull market and a new continuation pattern. So it's highly possible that price reaches the local high, the local low, and dump more to go towards the next, what is this, weekly demand, untested demand. So nothing crazy yet. The fact that the USDT market bounced is good, but it usually follows what Bitcoin does, right? So let's see how many we are. Wow, 30 members. That's nice. Okay, I think we can start. Let me move this thing. Starting soon before I forget. Okay. So yeah, this is the first thing first that we need to be careful. The fact that Bitcoin doesn't make a lower high and drops again. So I call 6461 in the channel, as you guys can see, when I said if we break below 8k, which was pretty much the MA200 on the CME chart, I said possible target will be 6164. I'm not a magician. I'm not a magician. I didn't call the number just out of the blue, but I can just show that target with the one indicator, which is the VPVR indicator. So by only use this indicator, boom, it was pretty clear that we could have seen a very important bounce on this level, because it was the POC, which is the point of control of this indicator. For those guys that don't know this indicator, I've talked about many times. It's volume, but volume for a certain price level, not volume for time as the volume that shows below. This is for time, this is for price. So at this level, this indicator is showing a very high transaction. You can see the support level. There was a 6k level, was very important, and that's where most of the time price goes. then it either dumps from there, but it can stay a lot in this case. Just here, it didn't really stay much. In fact, when we bought Bitcoin around 3K on the breakout here, I longed until 6.4. I missed the pump until 9K because I totally thought this was going to be rejected here, but it didn't. This pattern looks like a support resistance flip. So if let me remove the VPVR indicator. If I go trace the weekly, we have this nice block that could be our weekly breaker block. This level, strong resistance, strong support level at some point, but I would like to say that if we switch on 2-week time frame, there was some resistance level. In fact, if you guys check the candle close, how they close for 1, 2, 3, 4 2 weeks candles, so that's 2 months, there was a strong resistance at this point. Price was never able to close above this level, and if I trace a level connected those nice candle, we have a nice support resistance flip. That's where the price spiked exactly last night. Okay, so that's for sure something good for the market. It's a start, there is some hope for this bounce, but we cannot skip the fact that we broke below some important levels, and I'm talking about that 7.4 7.2 level, extremely important. We broke below the local low also, and we broke below the 61% Fibonacci. Let's check the Fibonacci level to look for confluence, because on logarithmic, no, I think on linear, so this is linear scale, we broke below the 61. Usually the 61 is a pretty interesting Fibonacci retracement. We almost reached 70, but to be honest, I don't like the logarithmic Fibonacci as well as the linear one, which is showing us a bounce on the 50% Fibonacci. 50% Fibonacci confluence with the level I just traced, also high volume node of the VPVR indicator. So we have many things that might think about this could be the bottom of correction, but again, we need to be careful. As I do every time, I'm calling every time 2 possible scenarios. I'm gonna have the bullish scenario to go to 20K. I'm gonna have the bearish scenario to go to 1K. I think me being a trader, not an investor, if I'm an investor, I'm gonna look for possible moon, buy the bag, and just hope that it goes up. I mean, I'm not an investor, I'm a trader, and I need to know where this thing is going. How I know where this thing is going? By just looking if price breaks support or breaks the resistance. If price breaks the resistance, I'm gonna long this shit. If price breaks support, I'm just gonna short. I don't really care that much about the long-term prediction of Bitcoin, because I'm gonna try to make money on both scenario. That's why I need to know both scenario to be prepared and trade those scenarios. So always get yelled for the fact that I have many scenarios. I have the bullish or bearish, or Vince, you're always right or wrong. I'm just trying to picture what it could happen, and depending on what support and resistance breaks first, I'm gonna make my assumption, and I think that's the best way to be ready for anything. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so if you look at it, I mean, it doesn't look that bullish in my opinion. The chart itself shows seller hammering so strong. and they've been hammering down since 14K. Even the monthly doesn't look that good with these massive wick rejection wicks. I mean, it's not on a key level, even though it's a bearish engulfing, but it's not on a key level, so I'm not gonna count for it that much as, for example, the weekly. The weekly bulls were kind of like, what is it here? Was a bearish engulfing on a key level. There was another bearish engulfing on key level, and I mean, seeing a possible double top here, and bulls will still be were bullish here. I mean, they just close their eyes and be like, oh fuck, I didn't see that bearish engulfing, and price dump. So we need confirmation. That's what I'm saying. In order to turn bullish, we need to break important high on the higher on the weekly time frame. And I'm not just talking about this low, but I'm talking about the main seller. The main seller is located on the high of the last leg, so it's located right here. So until we beat this guy, things will still be bearish. And I'm talking about if price breaks, goes here, retest, everyone will turn extremely bullish, but that's the main resistance that we really need to break. And then we have the local supply also, which is strong. No, local supply, sorry, September supply, the weekly, that is the one that price used to dump. Okay, so that's the level that we really need to break for the market to have the continuation that it needs. I think it's Guinness World Record for crypto means 38 viewers. It's not bad. Okay, let me read some comment. Criptovaluta Italia, ciao. Saluto i miei amici italiani che mi stanno seguendo. The rebound from 6.5 to 7.8 has ended. Will be a continuation rebound. Shift to trend. Yeah, that's what we are looking right now. We're trying to see if this is a bounce, just a relief bounce, and price will just go to 7.8 dump more. If a seller, actually, I won't say seller, we'll say retailers want to jump in quick, think that this guy is still bearish, they might even enter on the wick, not even waiting for the local low to dump further. So when there is FOMO, in this case FUD, I would say, price doesn't reach the level, just dumps on the wick. So we'll see what's gonna happen here. I will go in the lower time frame to show you guys a better price action, because this is just the weekly. We cannot see them much. I mean, we can see, for of course, the long term. We can make some good long term assumption with this higher time frame. But in the lower time frame, we can see if how buyers came in and so on. So we will go there. Let me go over my Bitcoin charts quickly just to see what I charted before. I have like a 1 million charts, so let's check one by one very quickly, see what's going on. So for example, this is the total altcoin market cap. So you have seen coin pumping like crazy, especially on Binance. Those are all shit coins in my opinion. Shit coins are pumping like crazy, 400% and dumping like that's insane. It happened exactly after the system upgrade of Binance. In my opinion, just a way to just give some hope to traders and pump everything up so high so traders stay in the exchange and don't leave. On the other hand, the top 10 crypto are still like pretty bad. If you notice, Ethereum USD, LTC USD, they all lost a pretty important support level, so they are also very bearish. money is still going around. Probably Binance from USDT. There's started to pump coins. I mean, we have seen so much pump in BTC market, but the altcoin market cap is still low. It's bouncing on this possible support resistance flip, but it's still very bearish. Again, here we will need to make an higher high in order to turn more bullish. Very similar, the total market cap. Total market cap that dropped below a support resistance flip, the breaker block that I was looking at, and it reached important support here. Either the support that this swing low give, and also the demand actually. Let me see in the linear scale what Fibonacci is that. On linear scale, we have the 70-70 Fibonacci that just got hit. I like this Fibonacci, as you guys know, on crypto works very well. There's also a demand area that got touched, so it doesn't look terrible. As you can see, I trace the supply also here, very similar to the Bitcoin chart. That's the supply that we need to break in order to turn extremely bullish, in my opinion. Then what I got here, oh, this is in the 2-day time frame. I was hoping for the swing failure pattern that didn't actually happen. I wish this candle closed above a previous low to make a swing failure pattern and price to go back up here, but it didn't happen. So we will see if this level is broken or not. So that's the same exact thing that I was talking about before. We have to see if it can break it or it can drop. This being a fake out, this is the fake out that happens during the dead cross on the daily time frame. You guys remember the price dropped on the dead cross, then pumped 40%. The whale, there was a massive whale move here on China news too, so I don't count this as a support. I would count this as a fake out. It's still an important low, but in my opinion, the real support is located about 8K here. That's the strong support. This is just a fake out. Fake out, usually I don't count it as a support. So there are chances for the price to go even higher at 8K and then dropped more. Okay. Already we didn't know yet. Trading room supports USDT. Yes, I knew that. Yeah. If we bounce over 9K, there I doubt we will come down again over 9K. Yes, 9K is for sure nice level. We have a very important support resistance flip at around 9K, but I mean, as you can see here, we bounced over 9K. We reached 10.5 and then we drop like crazy. So we need to stay above it. At that point, we need to stay about the level if it breaks this support resistance flip. But before to arrive there, let's see if we can break 8K and recover above it. There are some moving average that look interesting, especially on the 2-day time frame and the 3-day time frame. There is a same confluence with the same moving average. Let me see, Bitstamp. So the moving average 200 on 2-day time frame is the one that price is bouncing on. So when I see such confluences, sure, it might look bullish, but some trader just might place entry on moving average 200. Bots can do that also. Many bots at the same time triggered because price reached moving average 200 on the 2-day time frame, and also bots triggered because it touched at the same time moving average 200 on a 3-day time frame, can cause some spike in the market. But you know, it's not as bad as you know, I think it is. Could be a nice important level, also because we say there are some confluences that I look in the weekly, the VPVR indicator, the 50% Fibonacci on linear, the breaker block on the weekly time frame, and there's also this rejection, this retest on 3-day time frame. Price broke above this moving average 200 and retested, was never closed below, and then mooned when went back up. So this bounce could be interesting because of this. There was already a retest, important retest. So let's check for bullish crosses, bearish crosses, what's going on here. So we have a bullish cross here on the weekly. Price dropped below. We have to see if we can recover above the bullish cross. That's not that cute. The price dropped exactly on the bullish cross. If you guys see here though, there's this funny price action. There was a bearish cross on the weekly between moving 100, moving average 100, moving average 50. Bearish cross, usually a bearish indicator, and price increased. So now we have a bullish cross instead, and price is decreasing. So we still don't know how these things will play out, to be honest. So it doesn't look that good. In fact, here MA100 hold the price for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, then boom, smashed MA100 in just one shot. So that doesn't look okay also. So guys, I'm just, you know, checking with you the chart. I mean, I didn't prepare this live stream, as you know. I just go with the flow and I just talk about what I see. Okay, let's go on logarithmic scale. Let's go check the sentiment here. Because she shorts and long out the funding. So long keep adding. This is probably weekly. This is too much. Let's go on daily. Ooh. Long are extremely high. Look how much they spike. And guess what? The funding rate worked again. Look at how negative it was on this low. So shorts are still very low. Long have been keep adding for all the move here, and they kept getting wrecked on every single time price tried to breach above a local high. But look at the funding rate. It's amazing how this indicator works. This is on a 4-hour time frame, and you can see the funding rate positive in all the downtrend. Just some spike here and there, but look at this, how red is it now, signaling that there are more leverage position on the short side. Look at that. So this was very, very negative. Of course, it's not gonna be like, okay, it's negative, let's buy it. In fact, price made a massive divergence on the RSI4. That's the divergence I told my members to look for when we were actually here I said watch out because RSI is not divergent yet. This is a nice way to predict the price. I really like to predict the divergence. That's very interesting strategy. So if I trace this, price was not divergence to RSI, right? So I was like, this is not the bounce. This is not the bounce. I scalped, as you guys remember, on the 5 minutes time frame here because I see this hammer. So as soon as I see the hammer on the 4 hour, I try to long a bit. I mean the 5 hour and the 5 minutes time frame, but then I close it. In fact, I wrote exactly in the channel, I'm like, the fact that I'm longing this 5 minute scalp does make me a bull. In fact, that's what happened. Price dumped even more, and now we made a bullish divergence. This is a very interesting divergence because the divergence happens totally below 40. So when this happens, it's a very important divergence. The divergence is all below 40. Sometimes you will see divergence that do this, for example, then go like that, blah blah, and then you see this. You know, that's not as strong as this one that creates totally oversold in the oversold level. So price in fact was making a lower low, oscillator was making higher low. This makes this blue. I don't like orange. And the funding rate was in confluent with all this price action thing. So funding rate was saying, okay, we might go up here. RSI also was saying, okay, trend is becoming strong, watch out, and that's what happened. So usually this bullish divergence are signaling a change in the trend. So let's hope that's the case. We have a nice pump. That's what? That's from 6.5 to 7.1, $600 increase. That doesn't look that bad. Let's check on daily. What's going on? Finally, some green candles in the daily time frame. This is a supply level we need to beat. That is in confluence with this local low. So that's for me a strong resistance. It's a level and still a supply on the level. So we need to break that level. And right now it looks like it's been slightly rejected there. Let's be very precise here. 12-hour time frame. I can adjust my level and make it bigger because it's never like a perfect number. It's always a zone that you have to look for. Then I drop down and see if I can like narrow down my level. I can just take this and go 4 hour and trace my exact level of supply. There were two levels that got broken, so that's good. But we really need to see this is the daily. Remember, the higher time frame is always the stronger level that you have to watch. Okay, so price might break those 4 hour local supply, but what it counts is the main one on the higher time frame. Remember, the higher time frame is always stronger than the lower time frame. It's tough to make a prediction right now. Really hard because we are fighting between TA, technical analysis, and also manipulation. I won't say manipulation because we know what's happening, but we are against those sellers, those whales. They're dumping on every single attempt just to make some quick money. So they don't really care about going to 20k or 1k whales. They just love quick money, and you guys remember what happened on October 25th. Price increased 40%. Imagine how much money they made there. When talking about price action on the 4-hour time frame, we can see buyers stepping in now, and it's interesting because if you guys see all the downtrend, you barely see buyers jumping in. None. Just here a little bit, but at this point in the last part of this trend, we can see a massive hammer here, a massive pump. How much that was? Oh. A 10% in like 8 hours. So that's a lot, if you ask me. And then we have another pump of 12%. So that's massive. If we count for the Fibonacci, as I taught you, if we count the Fibonacci of the last leg, we can say that buyers pushed the price up 70% compared to the sellers. So they were able to push up really hard and goes against all those sellers. So it's looking interesting. It looks interesting even though, not even though, also because this price moved almost 100% of the last leg. If we want to be really precise, it did actually under 27% of the last leg. So buyers are here. There is a bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame that is looking interesting. When looking at pattern, we have a massive hammer on the 4-hour time frame, and also some kind of we have a doge in something that looks similar to a morning star pattern. So, overall, it doesn't look bad on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, let's not forget we are charting the 4-hour time frame, because if I switch in daily, we still don't have anything yet that tells me we're going up, right? Trade the time frame you are looking at. So first thing first, let's see if we can break above this supply. This is a very interesting level, so I'm gonna add an alert on that 7.3, 7.2 level, because if we recover above that, we have chances to move upward, because I don't think there is much resistance up to 8k. That's the level I traced. Okay, so that's it for now. It's tough, really tough to short the supply, because RSI is massive oversold on every fucking time frame. Let's see how much it spiked upward. On the 2-hour, it's pretty high already. On the 1-hour, so it's already almost overbought. My friend Timon would be shorting here, to be honest. Yeah, that's a tough call here. But hey, we're still making, we're still in a downtrend. People short here. Yeah, everything above it on a retest, that's pretty bullish to me, up to 8k at least. 8k at least. 7.8, 8k, 7.8. I think it can move pretty quick there if it breaks the supply. Okay, So let's move to another chart. Let's go bit sample, clean chart. Okay, yeah. So I share some ideas regarding this correction. I try to look for some kind of a pattern, a bullish pattern that Bitcoin might be making here. And I mean, there are few pattern that I'm really interested to see if they will play out or not. I mean, everybody knows the bullish flag pattern, which is massive. I don't know if I would call this a bullish flag pattern or just a downtrend, in my opinion. Um, there are few waves in it. They make me think about. It's not an Elliott wave, even though it looks like it. It could be an Elliott wave because yeah, if we trace from the candle close, 1 and 4 never crossed. 2 3 is the longest. It doesn't look bad to be honest, to be an Elliott wave. If we go inside the waves, we might see some other waves here. 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm gonna count. They're here. So it's not a terrible wave, Elliott wave, to be honest. There is also here something. 1 2 3 4 5. To be honest, I don't count the sub waves that often. If I see the big move, there are 3 waves, I start to look for a possible uptrend here. I talked about a possible drive, 3 drive pattern that fits kind of well. And let's go look at it. So the first move that I will consider is this one. So this is a downtrend, right? This is the local downtrend that happened here. There are 3 waves that go down. So that's for me the first move of the drive. So I'm gonna trace the top and the bottom of this move here and there, and to see if this is a drive, I need to have this retracement. There is 61%. Okay, so let's trace a Fibonacci from the top to the bottom because I need to see the retracement upward. And 70%, 61, we're close. So it's pretty legit one. So then let's see what happens. Candle close almost on 61%. Let's put linear. Actually, yeah, look at linear. Linear is right on the 61%. This is tricky with linear and logarithmic scale when it comes to Fibonacci. I'm gonna make a quick example on the main Fibonacci here. Remember, when you trace on logarithmic scale, and I do trace on logarithmic. I love logarithmic rather than a linear scale. When you trade in the lower time frame, doesn't really make a big difference, but in the higher time frame, it changes a lot, especially on Fibonacci, because here looks like 61%. But if you go in settings and you type Fibonacci levels based on logarithmic scale, if you switch on logarithmic scale, you will have a different Fibonacci, because the Fibonacci is made from a percentage, not from price. I mean, if you know linear and logarithmic scale, you will know why, but there's a big difference there. So in this case, if we switch to linear, since we are charting just a little part of the trend, linear usually can be more precise when charting the lower time frame. We do have a bounce on the 61%. Okay, there. Now the correction, so the extension to find the target should be 127, but is not as precise. So if I consider this move and I trace a Fibonacci that goes from here to there, we have under 27% as a target in a three drive pattern. That I mean we reached it. Price stopped right there. So I would consider it as taken, target reached. If we consider that this is the level where did buyers enter on the first shot, right here. So that's almost a nice under 20% level. Then there was a false breakout. They almost reached under 61, but yeah, you know. So this was the other downward move of the drive. Price reached here and then move upward. This was a fucked up move. We know there was a false breakout here, false breakout there, and drop. So when it comes to this kind of pattern, it's tough to find a perfect Fibonacci, because we don't know if we're gonna count from here or from there, and from here or from the wick. It's tough, but you know, let's trace it and see what do we come up with. From the wick to the top here, and we have this confluence with 161% and under 27 as a really good level for Fibonacci confluence. I love it. I love the Fibonacci retracement and extension. So you can see, well, the wick reached there, but price stopped exactly on the 127 under 61 zone. So for me, it is a pretty good drive pattern. This pattern, here we go. Oh. This pattern that usually has, you guys can see, 2 peaks and 2 valleys, usually breaks upward. So if that's the case, boom, for all the bulls listening to the stream, that's what we might get. So here are some hope for you guys. Some coffee. Yes, that looks pretty exciting. Of course, before to reach there, 15K. Let me trace a Fibonacci retracement here just to trace some level. Yeah, that's a nice confluence with this high. Well, if you guys remember, right here there should be some kind of unfilled gap also on the CME chart. But anyways, let's focus on this for now. So it looks nice. It's a confluence with this bull flag idea. Of course, in order to reach there, we need to break 3 levels, which is, you know, 8K for sure. That's a massive level to see if we can break. We need to break the bull flag resistance, diagonal resistance, and also 9K level. Price can go up here and dump here. It can go up here and dump again. It can go right here and dump again. Like, sellers can still smash the price down. So we need to be careful for that. I don't trust diagonals that much, because I mean, this pattern, I cannot really trace a perfect diagonal. It's so hard. It's so hard to trace diagonal here. What is it? This is it this, or I switch to logarithmic, and logarithmic becomes more precise. But again, it's so hard to know which lines you should trust to trace this diagonal. Probably this is the most precise level that I can trace, but I will never trace based on a diagonal, because many traders might trace this level in like 200 ways, when the horizontal level is here, and that's it. That's the level. You cannot move it that much. Yes, you can move a little bit here or there, but you know, I never go with the one line anyways. I just go with the zone. And then if you switch to logarithmic and linear, the horizontal is still that one when the linear changes. Sorry, the diagonal changes all the time if you switch to linear and log. So it's a mess. I don't trust diagonal for this reason. Any questions so far? Anything you guys want me to look at? Let's see some questions. Short very low yet. Well, at the all-time low when we were at 3K. What do you think? Yeah, it's weird that shorts are so low. It didn't change much, to be honest, since we dumped from 14K. There was a massive um, short that was closed. I don't remember when. I remember shorts and long being always the same amount. Then there was a day there was a massive position that was liquidated or just closed. There was all the news all over the place, and since then shorts have been pretty low compared to longs. It's funny because it's hard to spot which short the whale has opened to like dump on on all the longs, but most of the time when the longs are more than the shorts, we will see long squeeze all over the chart. So oh, okay, yeah. So I tried to let's go over that pattern because it's really interesting. The wolf wave. I tried to chart it, and I'm gonna go to no, I like this one. Binance, go there. So let's go over the wolf wave pattern because it's interesting. So I mean, you guys learned also this pattern. Okay, let's move volume. Because I mean, my live stream are not just prediction, but you guys can see how I do things and learn from it. So I'm not a big expert of this wolf wave. I don't trace them all the time, but there were few times that I traced them and they worked really, really well. Especially the one that I traced, I think was here. Let me remember. Okay, so it was from this level. Okay. So we have some interesting waves. Then wave number 5, that is usually a massive fake out. In this case, probably too massive for it to be true, but you know, it dumped so hard and then spike up so hard. That means this dump was probably made to buy price so low, and then whales had fun pushing the price up. I originally made this idea with the logarithmic scale, and that was my mistake because the logarithmic scale didn't give me a precise pattern. How this pattern works is a bullish wolf wave. So I usually connect with array number 2 with the magnet mode. I usually magnet mode, so I'm very precise. I connect 2 and 4, and I connect to 1 and 3. Okay. The problem with this pattern, especially in the long-term analysis, is that I mean, should we account for the wick or for the candle, and that makes a difference. Okay, so they're not so precise, but by tracing 2 and 4 and 1 and 3, I have the intersection of those two lines that give me when price will reach that level, and then by connecting with array 1 and 4, there you go, I usually have the exact price. And I mean, this was my original prediction I did on Twitter. You know, just by looking at this thing, of course it didn't work out because it was on logarithmic scale. I think if I switched to linear, if I would have made the exact same pattern, let me just trace with the rate on linear scale, look at what would have happened. Of course, the cross would have came way before here, right there, and then the price would have reached exactly the extension from 1 to 4 that I traced here. Of course, as I said again, these two levels are traced by the wick. If I tweak things around, um, probably this cross could have happened a little bit extended here if I trace different like wick and so on, but I cannot be super precise. That's why these long-term pattern are kind of like not the best. If I just take the candle for example, let's see, where is this daily? Let's go into weekly. If I take the candle close instead of the wick, I mean, this is just an example how things could have changed, so every time I move something, the cross will change drastically. So very hard to know that the precise level, but the idea was there. So that's why I think it could be a very similar pattern happening here. The problem with this pattern is that fuck, there are so many wicks. I try to trace that the wolf wave, but wicks are just insane. Doesn't allow me to make a very nice one. But let's try. So those are the exact wave. Now here you go from here, you go from there. That's already something that will screw up all the analysis. 4 and 5. Then logarithmical linear. I noticed that in linear it works better, but I'm not really sure because I don't have much experience with this pattern. Okay, that's number 1. That's number 4. Now going to the wick, on going here, that's a big decision too. I'll go here because it's closer. And then 1 to 4. Guys, I made this this pattern even here. Okay, we were at 3K, right? I never thought this thing would have gone to 14K like this, but it did. So the fact that I'm doing here might sound crazy, but fuck, who knows? If stays like this, prediction based on the wolf wave says that we could go to 14K around July 20. So that's it. Of course, it's just a scenario. I'm not gonna trade based on this, but something to look at. So bull flag, wolf wave pattern, Elliott wave with a possible ABC now, and ABC would fit also, something like that. Let's see, let's trace a Fibonacci retracement. Let's see, logarithmic scale, 50% Fibonacci. On the weekly. Well, for me, based on this idea, the 61% is usually the level to watch, and also 50%. I mean, we do have that supply level, that important supply level, the first one on the 50%. So again, that's the level to watch. To think about a continuation idea. And this supply was already taken in one shot here. You can see the wick going all the way up and boom, So this has been tested already. This supply slightly tested from 2 weeks, slightly tested. So there could be a strong resistance above those levels also. No hard to say that. I mean, if we break and this pattern works and everything, looks bullish, and we break resistance, diagonal, supply, and market turn extremely bullish, well, we have two nice Fibonacci to look at here: the 127 at 16k, and then the 161 at all-time high 19, 20. I mean, that the level that where Bitcoin goes nuts. Okay, so this is the bullish case pretty much. Talking about the bearish case instead. Yeah, you guys have some numbers already. Let me remove everything. The bearish case, as I said, on the lower time frame, the levels to watch, you know which one they are. 8k for sure. And then we will have some the demand waiting for us. Let's go on the 3-day time frame. No, maybe weekly. Let's take on weekly for now. Here. Is that level there on the 2 weeks? This is a nice level that I really like. This candle close in the weekly are really interesting. Okay, you can count, let's see, this as a demand kind of, that block, the block that was broken, our breaker block. Price broke, retest the breaker, and boom boom. So let's see what confluences the 5k demand. If we start to drop, there is a logarithmic 78% Fibonacci exactly on it. That would be good. That would be a nice level. On logarithmic instead is 61.70. So it doesn't help to switch from logarithmic and linear that much, to be honest, because there are still good Fibonacci confluences. And yes, guys, I mean 5k here. Then of course lower we have our 3k level, all-time low of the correction, as for sure another level to look for in case of a continuation of this correction pattern. And I mean this, that, this, and that, and so on, until we don't break and make a higher high. Good luck, good luck. I was discussing with some members in cafe the other day, because I see this long-term diagonal trend line on the major chart, right? Oh, look at this chart, my weekly amazing zone. So this is a chart I left here, and I love to look at it, and look at my circle there. The circle was based on, of course, the VPVR indicator. So that's the chart that I traced a while back. And then I have another one on 3k. The POC in this case is very lower. So this is a funny chart because on the weekly time frame, actually starting from the monthly, because it's even more interesting, price dumped exactly on the candle close, monthly candle close. As you can see, candle close usually is the important level of a time frame. It's not a wick, but it's the candle close. In fact, price reached exactly like a millimeter here. Boom, exactly the candle close. And if I use the magnet mode, look at this. If I use the magnet mode and then go price label and I trace the candle close, is 13,899. If I go on the wick, 13,831. So it's like slightly below. Pretty precise for me. That's why I look at the monthly once in a while. Oh, wait 1 sec. Okay. Then price got rejected hard at the 78% Fibonacci retracement of the old move. Never closed above 70.70. Never closed it. Look how many times he tried to close above the 70.70. Never closed. Never closed. Never closed. Bearish engulfing. Bearish engulfing. Boom. I trace also those descending triangle here and there, because in the higher time frame they look like they play really well. Supply level, this was the supply level, the blue one, that got retested and price dumped. It never made above this blue box. It never made it. It touched the supply that was here, the red box, touched it below, tried to break it, was never able. So the supply was all taken. Price dropped, come back up, touched the supply level, the weekly one, this little block, and dumped again. Price reached demand, the weekly demand, took it all, price come back up, and boom, dump below demand. So everything looks perfect in this chart. Like all the zones are taken one after the other. Supply, demand, bounce back up, supply, demand, done. So by looking at this chart, we should go back up, hit supply, and dump again. Because that's the story of this chart right now. Anyways, what I wanted to show you guys with this, let me go in my altcoin chart. Brave new wave. Okay, so everything is bearish in my charts. Okay, so I've seen many people tracing this uptrend, okay, and like do like those kind of things, just try to fit the fucking line in the chart and be like, yeah, we're still up, it can go down. They try to like connect points to make you believe that we're still in an uptrend or whatever, but like you know what, if you really want to be precise with what you see, I just need to connect this low with the low that happened here, so the lowest point of the two bearish market, and if I do so right there, connect the candle. I mean, that doesn't look that nice, to be honest. I mean, I do not believe in those kind of diagonals anyway. It's such a long term. The market changes so much, but it's interesting. It's interesting how this candle act here. This is very interesting. It looks like this candle like hold above this possible line, and then there was a massive drop. The massive drop happened. It was pretty bad. In fact, you can see the candle there. It's also really bad. Dropped below this possible diagonal trend line, maybe. I don't know. I don't trust this that much. I'm just thinking out loud right now. And price dropped, retested, and now we're dumping. So it doesn't look extremely good in my opinion. Right there. And that's why, you know, my 1K possible scenario uh, could become a reality as price mooned and then came back down to retest previous high. This is my do again and come back down to retest 1K. You know, I'm not saying that's where we're going, but you know, I would like to consider this in case everything fucking dies. And then there were some good confluences in the chart when it comes to Fibonacci. Why I do think this 1K scenario is not impossible, because I really like the Fibonacci confluences in the chart, and before to find out that I could place logarithmic Fibonacci on TradingView, because before I didn't know, I thought there was just the linear Fibonacci. Before I was just tracing this, I would trace a Fibonacci retracement from, let's say this, like the bottom of the bear market. I did like this. If I trace this in linear scale, I will have this, and I mean, it was a fucking mess. I mean, sure, it it didn't. This doesn't count. It retraced 88, but that's not really accurate. I couldn't see nothing by doing this. Then they add this logarithmic Fibonacci, and then I could see some good thing in the chart. Okay, what I noticed here, I noticed a 38% bounce of the overall move. Okay, 38% bounce was really interesting. There. And I'm counting this as the overall move, right? Let's say this is a Fibonacci, right? Or a wave, or whatever that is. Okay, let's say it's a massive wave like that. Let's see what it's doing again. So this is for the bullish case. 38% matches pretty well. And why is that something that that is pretty nice to see? Because if I just trace this overall Fibonacci level and I didn't know where price could have dropped, I make it like a white here so you guys don't see, and I trace this Fibonacci, I could have been able to predict the 6K bounce and the 3K bounce just by tracing this Fibonacci idea. Why? Because it exactly matched with the 23 and 38. In fact, price dropped exactly to 6K level and stayed there for like 10 months, and then it dropped down to 3K like magic. So that's something that, you know, makes me think that there could be a continuation, because it matches with the previous history in the trend. But price here, even though it doesn't look like it, it dumps a lot. Yes, this is for sure more important. In fact, price dropped 93%. That was really bad. But even here, price dropped quite a bit. Look at this, it's 76. And if I really want to be precise and count the wick here, this wick, that was a massive correction, 81%. So when I saw this, I'm like, fuck, that's a nice correction. Even though in logarithmic scale it doesn't look like it one, but I could trace this move like this at this point, okay, or like this, and be maybe this is the wave. So these things, this idea changed everything. So it changes like that, and that's when the 1K scenario came into my mind for the first time. Oh, let's move this 1 second. So what we see here, we see an ABC correction of the bearish market. It goes to 38%, comes back up to hit previous supply, and then dumps and close to 61%, but it wicks down to 70, pretty much where the local high is, and that's what pretty much Bitcoin could be making. The famous B wave market that everyone is fearing. A rally, fake rally, doesn't make it above the high, massive drop, and this could go to 61% as it did on this move. So that's why for me the 1K is not impossible. Everyone talks about, oh, but 1K, the miners won't be able to work, they will close down, like, guys, we reached 3K. Okay, we reached 3K. How long does it take to go to 1K? Just minus 2K. Bitcoin can move, and it did here. I explained this on my channel already. So let's go to the weekly. And there was actually, the daily shows you the power of it. In the daily, there was a candle that goes from actually, I want to show you guys, so you guys don't say I'm a liar. So there's this candle, it's a daily candle that goes from above 16K down to 11K. So that's 5K in one single day. You know how high the market cap was here? You know how much money needed to exit the market for Bitcoin to drop from 16K to 11K in one shot and then come back up? That's a lot of fucking money if you think. That's a lot of money. So do you think it could be hard for Bitcoin to drop, if you reach to 3K, drop to 1K and come back up in one single day? I don't think it's impossible. If it did such a move, being that high, from 3K to 1K, it takes probably a whale to move the price so fast down. And I'm pretty sure if it drops to 1K, there will be so much buying power waiting here that price might just move in an hour back up to 3K. So miners won't close if just one day Bitcoin stays below 1K. I don't think that's the case. So that's the answer when it comes to like, oh, miners will die if we go to 1K. They're not gonna die. What's VPVR indicator showing? That's fun. There's nothing here. Well, this is BLX. I don't know if it really counts as a 445. It's crazy how many transactions happened here compared to up top. Anyways, so that's the idea. So this was the bearish case. So as you guys see, I always talk about two different scenarios. So I'm ready to trade whatever happens. It's not because I wanna just be always right. Okay, so You guys having any questions? Anything that you guys think is extremely bearish or that you guys think is extremely bullish? We can discuss it. I'm gonna have a quick look at LTC and Ethereum to see how they're looking. Let's see. I should have a few charts. So the weekly. So this is the main chart of Ethereum that I really like. Maybe on 3-day time frame looks better. So there is this super resistant flip on around 50% logarithmic scale. If you can see, if you switch to linear scale, the Fibonacci becomes 78. So there's still two main Fibonacci. So it doesn't really matter which one I take. If I take the 50 or 61 or the 71, 78 or 77, it's still like two pretty damn good levels. Sure, price broke below this important support. Why for me was that important, even though I won't trace this as a main level. Possibly even this one could be a good level, to be honest, because price never went that high. Stopped here, then that it had another move, attempt to make a higher high, but price crashed, so was never able to stay above this high. So this level could be an interesting level also. Even here, price tried to break it and make it higher and stay above, and never made. It broke it below right away. So this could be actually an interesting level for a bounce, even though the above level was used way more for a support resistance flip. In fact, you can see, you know, the tons of level that happened on this support. That's why I counted. You can see those two arrows here, the arrows there. So it was used as a level for sure. And the breakout of that's fucked up. It doesn't look good. So confluent with Bitcoin, we have to see if price can recover above that level. Because if it doesn't, well, that's a bad break, and it will keep going down. Bearish market structure also on Ethereum. That's the market structure right there. Price attempt one, bam, rejected. Horizontal breakout. So there's nothing bullish here. Nothing. Zero. Weekly time frame, 3-day, zero. There's nothing bullish. If it breaks, that means okay, might mean something. Might mean something, but it really needs to break 200 to be bullish. It needs to break 200, and then we start to talk about what factor makes you hold BTC or unhold BTC. Well, as I said, I trade mostly USDT market because I'm a trader, so I like to see monthly profit. I'm not an investor, so I'm not gonna trade BTC market and try to make as many BTC as I can. So in 2 fucking years I make money. I need to make money on a monthly base. So because of that reason, I trade USDT market. So I rarely hold BTC. I trade back and forth, and I go in USDT market. That's my stable coin. That's my profit. I would hold BTC only if I see a massive high, like BTC going above 10k. That's when I would be comfortable to hold BTC. But I learned from the past. Holding BTC and trade altcoin market, and fuck, it's soft, man. It's soft because you don't know, and you're like, oh, you're not sure if you're gonna make enough profit with the BTC market. Then you look at your USD balance. I was going nuts when I used to do that. Cause I mean, I don't know you, but I care about my USD value. If my USD value drops, I get anxious. Some investors don't. I mean, it depends what your mentality is. I mean, if you want to make more BTC because in 5 years you want to be rich, that's a story. I trade different. For me, it's a monthly profit account, so I will try to make 30 a month if I can and be happy with it. It's a different mentality. Many people do trade just BTC market, but they want to make only BTC, and that's what you gotta go for. If you want to make more BTC, you make more BTC, and it doesn't matter what if BTC drops or not. But the problem is, then if you take the strategy and then Bitcoin drops minus 85%, are you gonna be willing to be like, okay, that's cool, man? I don't think I never heard this story. I didn't heard the story yet. All people that hold BTC and see Bitcoin dropping minus 95% even came in my channel. They're whole like desperate. So I think it's just a bullshit to me. Except if you just have a portion. If you have a portion of Bitcoin, like let's say 20% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, and trade that, and then the rest in USDT, that's maybe another strategy. Okay. I don't know if I have. Let me check 1 second. Then I mean, uh, in life also, not just in trading. In trading we try to have a different portfolio. We try to have a USDT portfolio, Bitcoin portfolio, have different strategies, scalping. I have an account in Binance and I trade altcoins. I have an account in BitMEX and I trade Bitcoin there. I have, let's say, the ICO strategy. I have the shitcoin strategy. Whatever you can make. How more you can differentiate your portfolio, better it is, because if something goes bad, there is the other side that can hedge your profit somehow. And I do that in life too. I mean, I'm not just running the channel, right? I make an income from the subscription. I make an income from my own trading. I make an income. I used to make the lesson. I make an income from the lesson. I make an income from. I'm a prosthetist, so I build legs. I make an income from prosthetics. So if there is something that doesn't go right, I'm not gonna panic. That's, I think, the main key for trading. To be honest, I used to go full time. I went full time with the channel at some point, full time trading, and it was tough. It was tough. There was a period where I would just trying to focus on the channel, make my money with subscription, but then the market was dumping, no much subscriber were joining, everyone was losing hope, and I could not count on a subscription, so I started to trade my own money, and I felt more comfortable. I'm like, okay, even though subscribers don't join, I don't give a fuck, I make my money. But if my trades go somewhat not good in a month, I still profit from the subscription. So it's an edge, because not every month can go beautiful in trading. I mean, luckily every single month we did, last 6 months in premium, we did over 30R. So I made money from subscription and from trading. But you need to have, I think this is what I learned, if you are a trader, you need to have some kind of other income. Otherwise, fuck, your emotions are going to hit you alive. Then if you're able to manage your emotions so well that you don't panic, but it's fucking hard, that's good. You're gonna be profitable, but it's tough. It's tough to just trade, don't have other income. You get anxious. Just if you are a robot, you might not get anxious. Of course, if we practice with nice risk and reward, with a nice mentality, sure, you can do it, but it's hard. I was talking with the trader Timon also. trader Timon, my friend that runs Margin Channel, he joined the crypto biz like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. He didn't know anything about trading. He learned paper trade for like 2 years and a half. During the bull market, everything was fucking mooning 10,000%. He never put a single dollar in the market. It was paper trading. He was studying, he learned with patience, then now is fucking killing it. But when he moved from paper trading to real money, he had a big problem with emotions. Because yeah, you paper trade, you put the money, and you don't really care. Like the emotion don't count there. You paper trade. Sure, with paper trading you can see if you have the skills. That's why it's important to start with paper trading. Some people say, oh, I don't want to start with paper trading, then I don't know if I have emotions to do it. But if you don't start with paper trading, you don't know if you have the skills. Because if you start without paper trading, your emotion will hit you alive. You don't know if you have the skills or not. So start with paper trading, see if you can make $3 a month with paper trading. Then you start with a little money, and then you see how fucked up it is when you start with the money and there is the emotion factor that fucks with your mind. So that's the idea. Study, paper trading, money, and gone. So that's the way everybody should do this. No, I mean I listed all the strategies. I don't have all the strategies. I mean there was a 2 years ago where I would buy, open 1,000 exchanges, ICOs. Yes, let's give it to me. Let's go open Binance, BitMEX, Buybill, Bitbox. Like oh, now I just have Binance, BitMEX. I trade long term, done. Like long term swing trades that last 3-4 days. I don't scalp them much. I don't have time. If I didn't have the channel, I probably would scalp more. I have too much shit to do. I cannot scalp. Okay. Anyways, back to these coins here. As I said, for the one that maybe connected now, this is what it might happen. But you know, false breakout are part of the trend, so this could be a massive false breakout just to hit all the damn stop below below support and moon. LTC USD instead. Again, I thought it was gonna be a support, a swing failure pattern, but it closed below, so not as nice. Regarding LTC, where is it? LTC. I have 1 million chart of this too. Coinbase. Let's see. Well, this was stop at a break even. Oh, this is the chart. This interesting chart of LTC. LTC likes 61% Fibonacci retracement, so that's pretty cool to see. Let me see how I trace this. Okay, so the first move upward, the retrace 61%. Okay, you can see 61%. Okay, that one. Then the move upward retraced this move, retraced 61%. You can see this one, huh? 61%. And then this move, let me remove all this shit. Break a block didn't work. This move also almost no, it did retrace 61%. There we go. So this move retraced 61%. So on every 61%, there is a massive reversal on LTC. That's why I'm looking for this possible bounce. There was a terrible dead cross this coin on the 2-day time frame, if I remember right. Yes, So look at this. That cross on today time frame price exactly touched the cross, like on it, and dumped like hell. So it didn't look that good. I thought this this low was going to be taken, but no, it didn't. So price is still in a massive downtrend here also. So again, nothing bullish on LTC, nothing. The attempt here failed. So everything is still in a downtrend. We cannot call this a bull market at all. Zero. Impossible. You can't. See if there are some divergence here. This is the 2-day time frame. Like for example, even though this was going to be a little bit higher, I don't count this as a good divergence because it went too high. It reached 54. For me, a good divergence is when the divergence happens oversold, as I said before. If you will see something like this, that's a good divergence. But like this, no. If I go on daily, I don't see it. I don't see any good divergence on RSI at the moment. So same story for LTC. They call it the leading indicator of Bitcoin. Some traders, they say it moves kind of before. So this also could just be a bounce and then a drop, continuation. We don't know yet. How many months do you recommend to paper trade, or you switch to real money when you think you are consistent and profitable? Well, of course, it depends, trader by trader. I mean, you could switch to money if I don't know, if you make in 5 months you make 30R, 20R, or even 10R. If you can make 10R a month for 5 months straight, 6 months straight, I guess you can try with money and see if that the count drops or not. But that you gotta have some result on paper trading to know that you have the skills to find the spot and then move into real money. I never followed that exact strategy because I started and I ran the channel, then I was doing the analysis and trading, and I was like learning and sharing and put money on it, and it was a little bit a mess, but I really recommend the way I say it. I think that's the best way to take. So guys, LTC same thing. I don't see an uptrend yet. Ethereum, LTC, Bitcoin all reach some important levels, so we cannot fake to not see that, but you know, we just have to see if we can make this higher high as a confirmation or not. The biggest mistake ever is to trust the live candle. You know, everybody looks at this candle and we're like, ah, fuck, yes, we bounce, it's 20k. But the live candle is the one that will screw you up. So instead of looking at the live candle, just look at what happened before. Make the analysis. Just because it bounced, it doesn't mean shit. Sure, it could go up, but you know. And that's it, guys. I don't think I have to add anything else. What is this? On Bitcoin, I think I talked too much. It's nice. It's a nice bounce. You know, it's a nice bounce. Today. Okay, to finish the live stream, let's go back on my these altcoins, Bitcoin here. Okay, XPT. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's what you gotta look for. Let's see if we can break above 7.3. If it does, might go up. Might go up. I think that's the level to look for. Bullish divergence on 4 hour on the lower time frame. If it breaks it, it should go up to 8K at least, I think. Because this supply was taken. This was a massive fake out that happened. Yeah, right here. So this supply was already taken to dump the price. So if price breaks here, we might go to 8K to go here at this other supply level, 7.9, 7.8, 8K, you know. If not, we'll dump more. 12 hours is how 12 hours closing. Nice bullish amber there, 12 hours. Nice this is a nice candlestick pattern, morning star at the key level. That looks really interesting. The daily, not yet bullish, 12 hours, morning star, bullish engulfing on the 8-hour time frame. Just a tip when it comes to bullish engulfing, this is what I like to do. When there's a bullish engulfing, I've seen from my charts that usually price drops 78%, or at least on the first candle before to go again. So we see bullish engulfing, like traders see bullish engulfing, and usually price doesn't go up right away. So if this candle close, sometimes I see this that goes down to like 78%, and then goes up. Of course, we have some level of 50% that could do this. So you know, if it gets rejected, watch out, because we have a bullish engulfing, and that's something important, and price might just retrace to then go back up. It's a fucked up, but that's how it is. I can give you a nice example on the 3K level. I talk about this all the time because it's a perfect example. Oh, okay. 3-day, yes, or on the weekly too. See the bullish engulfing here that happened at the bottom of 3K. That's a massive bullish engulfing. Okay, after a massive dump, buyers came in here. Boom, they came in strong. Price moved to like 4K in one shot. Only institution could have done this, nobody else. So if you see something like this, that's a bullish engulfing, everybody will like, ah, fuck, I'm gonna buy this. But no, price dropped before to go back up again. And how much it dropped? It dropped 78%. I mean, it stopped at 61 first candle closed, first candle closed. You know, you can take that as an entry too. For example, there's a stop in the 88 or below 100, and then they come back in. Okay, so then of course then we had the harmonic pattern also. If you guys remember, if you went in the channel, we traced this pattern. It was a Gartley, bullish Gartley idea. I think it was a bullish Gartley. A perfect one. And price then, boom. So That's what we need to see in the higher time frame to think shit is start to get bullish. On the weekly, on the 2 day, we need to see some good pair of candles, okay? And then there is hope that things might just go up a lot. But this spike is starting to look interesting, okay? We just need to see if we can break 7.3 and so on. Then of course shit like this can happen. But this was a massive manipulation. I don't think this was nothing healthy here. China news and whatever. I didn't even trust China news. I think the whales just counter trade the dead cross on the daily. That's all they did. Then when say bullish, see dead cross here. The dead cross retailer dumped and whales pumped, and then they made their money. They sold everything. So that's what it is. Then on key levels, usually there is the fucking news that is gonna create foam or FUD or whatever. There is just news that is so much made up to make people believe that this moon was because China, when at the end it was not because of China, it was because there was a fucking whale playing here. They took all the stops that were placed here, massive liquidity pool, and boom, and that's it. Okay. Oh, okay, I'm done. 1 hour and 44 minutes. Agree, it looks like. Gotcha, thanks. Okay, alright guys, I think I'm done. Thank you for watching. 1 hour and 45 minutes of my bullshit. Hopefully helped to understand what to do. I know it's lots of information, bullish, bearish, but I mean that's what that's how you do, and how I do in order to be more careful and more precise and be ready to expect anything. If it dumps here, I'm not just gonna be like, fuck yeah, short. I know now there is a bullish engulfing, and then price might retrace and I might buy here. If it breaks, I know I might long here. If it breaks below local low, I may think, okay, everything is fucked, keep dropping because this reason and so on. So, okay, always trade the levels. If you are a trader, if you are a trader, you should be able to trade whatever happens, long, short, whatever. It doesn't matter to you where it's going. It just matter where you think is going, and if you know where it's going, even in the lower time frame. If you are an investor, you want to buy now to sell in 5 years. That's your problem. I don't care. All right, guys, play safe, and I will talk to you guys in the channel. Thank you. Bye bye.